Welcome to EchoReads.
This is The Prophet by Kahlil Gibran.
Marriage is often seen as two lives becoming one. But here, it is revealed as something deeper, togetherness without losing yourself.
Now we begin Chapter 2 on marriage.
We're exploring a really profound idea today. It's this piece of advice that tries to get at maybe the hardest question there is. How do you commit to someone completely, forever, but without, losing yourself?
It's a powerful thought, isn't it? The idea that two people can be so connected that their bond just transcends everything.
Everything.
Yeah, that they're born together and are meant to be together forevermore. And this connection, it's said to survive even death.
Right, when the white wings of death scatter your days.
Yeah.
Even then, you remain connected somehow in the silent memory of God.
It's this huge, sweeping promise, an eternal union.
But that's where things get tricky, almost counterintuitive. Because if that's the goal, this perfect togetherness, how do you stop that bond from becoming a cage?
And that's the paradox at the very heart of it. To get that eternal togetherness, you have to do something that feels like the opposite. You have to consciously cultivate space.
Okay, let's talk about that. Spaces in your togetherness. Because when I hear commitment, I think of, merging lives, being in the same orbit all the time. What kind of space are we really talking about here?
It's more of an existential space. The image used is just beautiful. It's that you have to let the winds of the heavens dance between you.
The winds of the heavens.
Think about what wind does. It's movement. It's refreshing. It keeps things from getting stale. If two people stand so close together that they block that wind, the air just stagnates.
And the connection withers.
Yeah.
That really pushes back against the idea that love is about possession or just always being physically close.
Absolutely. The advice is very clear on this. Love one another, but make not a bond of love.
A bond. That word feels so restrictive, like a contract or handcuffs.
Exactly. A bond is fixed. It's limiting. This philosophy is aiming for something that's limitless, something dynamic.
So if it's not a bond, then what should it look like?
It should be a moving sea between the shores of your souls.
A moving sea. I like that. So the shores, the two people, they remain distinct. They have their own shape, their own identity.
Yes. But the sea connects them. Always.
And the sea moves. It's not stagnant. It has tides and energy. It's constantly touching both shores. But its job isn't to hold them in place. Its job is to flow.
Precisely. That moving sea is all about those essential boundaries that keep both people healthy and whole. It's the space you need for your own friendships or to focus on your work or even just for some mental privacy.
It's one thing to talk about it, but actually
Right.
doing it, that's hard. When you feel insecure, your instinct is to pull your partner closer, to try and solidify that bond.
It is. But trusting the movement of the sea means trusting that if both shores, both people are strong on their own, the connection will naturally hold. The strength of the union comes from the strength of the separate souls.
So from that emotional space, we kind of move into the practical, right? The day-to-day things where boundaries get blurry, like sharing your lives, your resources.
Yes, the focus shifts to these very concrete daily acts. And the first one is about support, but also about individuality. Fill each other's cup, but drink not from one cup.
Fill each other's cup. So my job is to make sure you're nourished, that your cup is full. But the act of actually drinking, of being fulfilled, that has to come from my own cup.
It's a way to avoid a really common trap in relationships, isn't it? The expectation that one person can be the sole source of the other's happiness.
Yeah, if you're always drinking from their cup, you're not just dependent, you're draining them. And you forget how to fill your own.
And it gets reinforced with something even more basic, with food. Give one another of your bread, but eat not from the same loaf.
Giving bread feels like generosity, a recognition that you share a life together. But eating from your own loaf, that's about maintaining yourself.
Right. If you eat from the same loaf, you start to merge your appetites, your needs, metaphorically, your pathways to your own happiness. Giving your bread as a gift, eating separately keeps you.
It honors that individual process of taking in the world. And from sustenance, I guess the next logical step is shared joy.
Which is where things get even more interesting. We assume shared joy means total unity, but there's another powerful metaphor here, a musical one.
It starts with this beautiful vision. Sing and dance together and be joyous. It's alive, it's mutual.
But then comes the pivot, the thing that keeps it all healthy. But let each one of you be alone.
How can you be alone while you're dancing together? It sounds impossible.
And the answer is in the instrument. even as the strings of a lute are alone, though they quiver with the same music.
Okay. I can picture that. The strings have to be separate. If they were touching, the sound would just be a mess, muffled.
They'd be dissonant. They have to stand apart, each one tuned to its own correct pitch, to make a beautiful sound together. The shared song depends entirely on this separation of the individual strings.
So our shared happiness is strongest when we're both operating from our own strengths, from our own clear sense of self. If one partner loses their pitch, the whole song is off key.
Yes. You create harmony, not just unison. Each person brings their own distinct, vibrant note. If you're just echoing the other person to feel joyous, the richness is lost.
This idea of necessary separation, it feels most challenging when we get to the very core of it all, to the heart. It seems natural to want to just give your heart to someone, to put it in their care.
And this is where the ultimate boundary is drawn. It limits possession, even at that deepest level. Give your hearts, but not into each other's keeping.
Not into each other's keeping, so you could offer it freely, but you can't hand over ownership. Why is keeping someone's heart seen as so dangerous?
I think it's about scale. A person's heart, their soul, it's just too vast, too complex for another human being to manage or contain.
If I think I'm keeping your heart, then I'm implicitly demanding that you act according to my definition of you.
Precisely. It turns love into a kind of control. It shrinks the other person's world down to the size of the relationship. Their soul is meant for a much greater container.
The ultimate authority isn't the partner, then. It's something bigger.
It is. For only the hand of life can contain your hearts. When you accept that, you free the relationship from this impossible burden of being everything to each other.
The sea, the cup, the lute strings, the unkept heart. It all seems to build toward a final set of images.
Yes, two final metaphors that perfectly summarize this whole architecture of independence. First, the structural one. For the pillars of the temple stand apart.
A temple roof, a shared life, is held up by pillars standing strong on their own foundations. If they leaned on each other, the whole thing would be weaker.
And then there's the natural image, which is about growth. And the oak tree and the cypress grow not in each other's shadow.
That one is so powerful. If they're too close, one will inevitably block the sunlight from the other. For both to reach their full potential, they need their own space, their own light.
True togetherness demands that both the oak and the cypress get their full share of the sun. The relationship isn't the goal of the growth, it's the shared ground they grow from.
So, longevity and depth. They're not found in fusion, but in mutual integrity. It's not about finding someone who completes you. It's about finding someone who stands strong beside you.
And in doing so, creates the perfect conditions for you to be fully yourself.
If a connection that lasts forever really relies on the strength of the separate individual, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? Given the advice to let the winds of heaven dance between you, what necessary spaces are you currently neglecting in your most important relationships? What shadow might you be casting over their growth, or they over yours?